Hi and welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to cover the basics of Matplotlib in Python. So this is how we import Matplotlib. We say import matplotlib.py plot as plt. So this way of giving aliases to libraries in Python is something that we are already familiar with. And we give aliases because when we want to call Matplotlib library, we are just going to use plt instead of matplotlib. This command here you see %matplotlib inline is essential to make sure that whatever you are creating as visualizations using this library, they are displayed in the Jupyter notebook itself. So let's load these libraries and use this line %matplotlib inline. Now if you want to make plots in Matplotlib, you can just use the plot function. So I've created two lists, height and weight here, and I'm using the plot function. We can just pass both these height and weight inside the plot function. Let's run this one. And using the plot function, and we get the plot. Note that the first list that we pass actually appears on the x-axis, which is the height. And the second list that we pass actually appears on the y-axis, which is the weight. Now, do you think there is something wrong with this visualization? Well, it turns out there is. In this visualization, we are not able to figure out what each of these values on these different axes mean and what this entire visualization is all about. And that's what we are going to learn, which is how you can add title and labels to your axes. So let's run this piece of code here. So this is the same visualization. But now we have labeled the y-axis, which is weight, and we also labeled the x-axis height. We have also the title, which is relationship between height and weight. We did nothing here. We just add the title, plt title function, and also we add the labels. For labels x label, we have x label function, and in the parentheses, we type the label. And we do the same thing for y label. Now suppose I make another plot. In this plot, I have basically plotted two things. The first is the calories burned and the second is the height of the people. Now let's run this one. And if you look at this plot, you're not able to understand which of these lines is actually calories burned and which of these lines is actually weight of a person. And this is something which you can solve by using legends. So in order to add a legend to a data visualization in Matplotlib, you just use the legend function. Here you see plt.legend, and we pass the labels, calories burned and weight, and give the location of the legend. In this case, it's lower right corner. So when you run this piece of code, the location that I gave was lower right, and that's why the legend appears here. And apart from lower right, you can give upper right, upper left, and so on. Now, if you look at the same visualization, you're able to figure it out. Okay, the orange line is basically the weight of the person, and the blue line is basically the calories burned. Now, in this visualization, we know at y-axis are plotting the values, that calories burned, and the weight. But what about the x-axis? We are essentially trying to plot these values for 4 different persons, but if you look at the x-axis and if you look at the visualization, it's not all obvious. So let's try to fix this. So now what we are going to do here is we are replacing the default x-axis by label of each point, and each point we have given P1, P2, and P3, person 1, person 2, and person 3, and person 4. And this is something that you can do with xticks function in Matplotlib. The ticks are the location of each ticks 0, 1, 2, and 3. And the labels for each tick is P1, P2, P3, and P4. Let's run this piece of code. Now you see that we have now P1, P2, P3, and P4 on the x-axis. Now in Matplotlib, you can also change the size of the figure. So let's see. Let's run this piece of code. And here is our outcome. Now the data point for each person on the orange line is denoted by a star. And the data point for each person on the blue line is denoted by a circle. Also, you will see that the size of the figure has just increased. And this was the original figure. And here is the new figure. So what I have done here, first of all, in order to increase the size of the figure, I use the figure function and pass the fixed size. Note that Matplotlib takes sizes in inches. So this is 15 by 5 inches. And this increase the figure size. The next thing that we have done, in order to mark these points, we use the marker attribute of the plot function. So here the marker is O and here the marker is asterisk, which denotes a star. And this is the basics of Matplotlib. Thank you for watching this video.